The movie kicks off in 1050, with Chieftain Gudbrand leading 20 ships to raid Normandy. During their plundering, they discover a hidden room in an abbey. The monks beg them not to enter, but they ignore the warnings. Inside, instead of gold and silver, they find a wolf pup. Unknowingly, they've unleashed the Hound of Hell, the reason for the monks' desperate pleas. By dawn, all the Vikings are dead, and the Hound escapes to shore. Fast forward 1,000 years to Nybo City, where Thale lives with her stepfather Arthur and her deaf sister Jenny. Thale and Jenny are close, and as they enjoy a horror movie, Thale gets a text from her friend Jonas, inviting her to a party at the bay. Sneaking some beer into her bag, she heads out. Outside, Thale runs into her mother, Liv, a cop, and it's clear their relationship is tense. At the party, Jonas greets her warmly, making her the center of his attention, which annoys Ellen, his friend, and the rest of the group. When they ask why Thale moved from Oslo, she casually mentions committing a murder. Ellen pulls Jonas aside, and while they talk, Vidar, Ellen's friend, mocks Thale about her murder story. Frustrated, she snaps, saying, "She wants to kill him next." Walking by a bridge, she spots Jonas and Ellen arguing. Just as she's about to leave, she hears a scream. Thale runs back and finds Ellen, covered in blood. As Thale tries to help, an animal suddenly attacks her, biting her shoulder before dragging Ellen away, screaming. Terrified, Thale screams too and sees Jonas frozen in shock. Soon, Liv arrives on the scene and, learning her daughter is involved, rushes to Thale, who is crying and too scared to explain what happened. While inspecting the area, Liv finds a large claw stuck in a nearby tree. The next morning, the police visit the school, urging Ellen's friends to cooperate. Liv and her colleague, Eilert, question the students, starting with Thale and Jonas, but no one has any answers about what happened that night. The investigation stalls, and Thale remains unsure who or what attacked Ellen. Later, Liv searches online, comparing the claw they found to that of a wolf, but it's much too large for any known animal. She suggests to Eilert they send hunters to check the area, but he dismisses her concerns, teasing, "This isn't Oslo." The next day, Liv gets a call from Eilert. They've found Ellen's body. At breakfast, Thale asks if the call was about Ellen, and Liv responds with a disappointed look. In the autopsy room, Liv examines Ellen's body, now horribly mutilated. Ellen's body is covered in deep wounds and bite marks, with part of her abdomen and right arm missing, as if an animal had torn her apart. Seeing this, the doctor gives Liv the contact of a veterinarian named William, thinking he might help. Outside, Ellen's mother, the mayor, demands to see her daughter's body, but Liv refuses, knowing it would be too traumatic. The mayor breaks down, saying it could have been her daughter too. Eilert tries to console her, while Liv, holding back tears, stands by her decision. Meanwhile, William is informed about the case, he agrees to help with it, and prepares to come to town. The next morning, an old man named Lars Broden shows up at the police station, asking to speak with the sheriff about Ellen's murder. When he meets Liv, he reveals he's a werewolf hunter, and claims a werewolf killed Ellen, one he's been tracking for years. Liv is furious and dismisses him, telling him to leave. Before he goes, Lars hands her a silver bullet, saying it's the only way to kill a werewolf, and slips a few more into her jacket, giving her his address in case she needs him. Elsewhere, Thale meets Jonas at a cafe after his invitation. They talk about the attack, both feeling guilty and traumatized over not being able to save Ellen. After leaving, Thale runs into her bullies, including Vidar, who taunt her about letting Ellen die and the bite on her shoulder. Deeply hurt, Thale goes home and checks her wound in the mirror. It looks worse and isn't healing. Liv shows up at Thale's door, wanting to check her wound, but Thale snaps at her and storms off to her room. She's still angry at Liv for moving on from her biological father's death and dragging them to Nybo. The next day at school, Thale feels unwell and pauses outside. Jonas joins her, asking if she's okay. She brushes it off, pretending to be fine. Jonas apologizes for not protecting her from the bullies, but Thale reassures him it's okay. Meanwhile, William arrives at the police station and examines Ellen's body. He confirms that all the bite marks are from the same creature, but it's too large to be a regular wolf. Liv shows him the claw they found, but he isn't sure it belongs to a wolf either. They decide to take a hunting team to track the animal, starting from where Ellen's body was found. Back at school, Thale sits in class when she hears strange sounds. Her senses feel sharper than ever, and even the sound of a pencil on paper is unbearable. As she looks at a classmate, her vision distorts, and she imagines them as a werewolf. Embarrassed and scared, she leaves the room. Meanwhile, Liv and her team discover another headless body in the forest. She orders 2 hunters, Anderson and Blystad, to guard it while the rest press on. They find a severed head lying in front of a cave entrance. Liv volunteers to check what's inside, and as she climbs down to investigate, she ends up slipping and landing next to a dead woman. Suddenly, Anderson and Blystad are attacked by a massive black wolf, which kills them both. Hearing their screams, the rest of the team readies their weapons, but they are quickly slaughtered too. In the cave, Liv hears the chaos, climbs up, and comes face to face with the giant wolf. The wolf lunges at Liv, and she fires at it, but the bullets have no effect. As she runs out of ammo, she frantically searches for more and finds the silver bullet Lars had given her. She shoots, and the silver bullet finally brings the wolf down. Liv loses consciousness and later wakes up with a fractured wrist. Eilert, who was also injured, remains in a coma. Meanwhile, Thale starts noticing strange changes in her body. Her shoulder wound from the wolf bite seems to be triggering a transformation. Her hearing becomes unnaturally sharp, and she starts hallucinating Ellen blaming her for her death. Panic sets in as Thale realizes something is very wrong. Determined to find answers, Liv visits William. He confirms that only the silver bullet killed the wolf and that the wolf's brain shows human DNA. They begin to suspect the creature was a werewolf. Remembering Lars Broden, who warned her about werewolves, Liv sets out to find him. That night, Thale's sister Jenny finds her sleepwalking. She gently guides Thale back to bed, assuring her she'll always be there for her. Thale just says she's tired and falls asleep. Liv finds Lars, who explains that the wolf they killed is from a rare breed that turns humans into werewolves. He reveals he's been hunting this specific wolf for 2 years. He warns that once infected, a person's senses sharpen, then they start developing claws, sharp teeth, and other traits. Liv asks if there's a cure, but Lars grimly tells her there isn't. Only death can sever the bloodline. It's the only way to stop the werewolves. That night, Jonas texts Thale, asking to meet. Looking pale, she sneaks out to see him. As she tries to explain what's happening to her, Jonas steps away to take a call from his dad. Under the full moon, Thale feels her body changing, her mind clouded with hallucinations. When Jonas returns, he finds her crouched behind a car. Thale yells for him to leave, but he doesn't, and she loses control, attacking and killing him. The next morning, Liv hears about another attack and rushes to the scene, unaware that Thale is unconscious in the workshop next to their house. Thale wakes up, vomits, and sees herself covered in blood. Horrified, she coughs up a piece of a finger. Looking in the mirror, she sees her face and teeth have changed. Unable to remember what happened, she decides to return to where she last saw Jonas. At the crime scene, William tells Liv the bite marks on Jonas are different from those of the previous wolf attack. Liv realizes there's another wolf in town. Hiding nearby, Thale watches as they take Jonas' body away and breaks down, realizing she killed him. Meanwhile, Lars visits Eilert in the hospital, noticing he has a bite mark. To prevent another transformation, Lars disconnects Eilert's life support, apologizing as he does it. That night, Thale decides to leave town. She boards a bus, but as it drives away, she sees the full moon through the window. Thale feels intense pain and transforms into a wolf, killing most of the passengers on the bus. Lars hears a police radio about the attack and rushes to the scene. Liv, nearby, decides to investigate. When she arrives, she sees people running in terror. She approaches the bus and finds Thale's clothes and necklace. Horrified, she realizes her daughter is the new werewolf. William arrives with DNA results confirming Liv's worst fear. She confesses it's Thale, but she can't bring herself to kill her. Meanwhile, Thale, in wolf form, sneaks back home. Jenny spots her but realizes the wolf's eyes look like her sister's. Just then, Arthur bursts in and manages to get Jenny out before Thale can attack. They get inside the car, but Arthur is injured and loses control of the car, crashing near a bar where Vidar and his friends are hanging out. Arthur tells Jenny to hide before passing out. As Jenny steps out, she sees Thale, who charges at Vidar, killing him and others. Liv hears about the attack on the radio. Though she can't kill her daughter, William suggests using tranquilizers to calm her down. Jenny, heartbroken, approaches Thale as she devours someone, tearfully promising to take care of her. For a moment, Thale softens, but when Liv arrives, everything changes. William shoots a tranquilizer at Thale, but it's not enough, and she lunges forward, attacking again. Liv, Jenny, and William rush into a store as Thale tries to break down the door. Liv orders Jenny to hide while she and William hold the door shut. Suddenly, Lars crashes his car through the entrance, trying to hit the wolf, but instead, he slams into Liv and William, injuring them both. Before he can reach for his gun, Thale pounces and kills him. Thale then turns on Liv, biting her hand. Struggling against the attack, Liv begs William to grab the tranquilizer. Injured, William tries to reach it, but Jenny steps in, picks up the tranquilizer, and injects it into Thale, knocking her out. Jenny and Liv cry as they watch Thale slowly lose consciousness. The next day, Thale lies unconscious in the lab. Overwhelmed with guilt and sorrow, Liv arrives and apologizes to her daughter. She loads a silver bullet into her gun and shakily points it at Thale's head. Tears streaming down her face, she holds the gun there as the screen fades to black. Later, Liv returns home and sits in Thale's room. She places the silver bullet on the table and stares at a photo of her daughter. The movie ends with the camera focusing on the bullet.